to the birds of the sky. The lineage is thus: we are Hawaiian, we are Kanaka Maoli, connected to all creation and all time. Sky emerges the living worlds of both nature and humanity. In a many-layered legend, it is said that Wakea's first child is stillborn. The infant body is buried, and from his earthen grave sprouts kalo, Hawaii's primary food. Kalo represents nature, and as the firstborn, he is the elder brother of mankind. For Papa's next child is man. As the eldest, nature feeds and nurtures man, sustaining humanity lifetime after lifetime. Man, in turn, must respect, cultivate, and care for his elder brother nature. They are two siblings living in harmony. It is from this harmony that Hawaiians claim, Heali'i ka aina, he ka wā ki kanaka. The land is chief, man is her servant. And so it all begins with the aina, the land, revered as a living being, the culture itself evolving out of water.
Learn Travelese. Stuff, as in stuffing yourself with great food. Just don't stuff fruits or plants in your bags. Not when you can buy them already good to go. Smart, as in going through agricultural inspection first and always having travel documents handy. Travelese, simple. That's travel with ease.
It takes 2 minutes to make the perfect latte. It takes 7 years to make a fine Cabernet. But it takes nature 25 years to make a glass of pure Hawaiian water. Years of drought conditions and growing demand have dramatically reduced Oahu's water supply. So we need to conserve more now, to give nature the time it needs to do its work. Please, don't waste water.
Aloha, this is Rip Taylor. Oh, no, free? No. Did you see this? It's in the lobby of your hotel. Ask anybody in the lobby, the front desk clerk, the bellman, anybody. It's called, watch, The Best of Hawaii.
Plants and animals all had to arrive from afar. They floated on water. They wafted on air currents. They blew in with storms. And then an even more interesting thing happened once here. They changed. They evolved and became their own unique species. A living laboratory of adaptation, Hawaii's remoteness inspiring new endemic species found only in these islands. But when the outside world swept into paradise, nature had few defenses, and by late 20th century, Hawaii became the endangered species capital of the world. Its endemic creatures and indigenous people began to disappear. People who were stewards of these islands, skilled at adaptation, having evolved out of this magical aina, one of the most sophisticated societies in Polynesia, whose ancestors explored the entire Pacific, centuries before Europeans ventured into the Atlantic Ocean. On land, they were the best farmers in this hemisphere. Their clothing the finest bark cloth made in ancient times. Their knowledge of herbal medicine was unsurpassed. Their language and oral history telling require memorization skills that challenge the abilities of the most well-developed minds. They had a timeless sense of themselves being linked to present, past, and future as one continuum. The human body, they thought, represented this continuum in 3 body points or pico. Symbolically, the navel was the pico, connecting the person to the present generation, to parents and family. Literally, the navel's umbilical cord connected mother and child. The genitalia was the pico that linked to future generations. Every child was embraced by the ohana, the Hawaiian family system. The fontanelle on the top of the head linked to the past, to one's aumakua ancestors. Herbs were placed on a baby's fontanelle to keep it open and soft for as long as possible, sometimes for nearly 2 years. Keeping a child connected through the top of the head to the spirit world. Children were honored. Child abuse was rare. Hawaiian thought was profound and metaphysical, intuitive. Comprehension of the world was and still is different from the ways of the West. When the West arrived in 1778, in the form of Captain James Cook and his men, there were hundreds of thousands of native Hawaiians living in the islands. Kamehameha, the last great warrior chief, had unified all the islands for the first time ever. Hawaiian society prospered. Of merchants, traders, and adventurers who had been coming since Cook's arrival brought dramatic change. For the Hawaiians, the whole world was of great interest. Foreign goods, from cotton cloth to sailing ships, were intriguing. The written word was fascinating. An economy based on money was a new concept. Hawaiians began to question their own society. When Kamehameha the Great died in 1819, with him went much of the ancient ways. A disparity grew between the classes. Chiefs attained more power. Gone were the priests and the ancient religion, a void that was filled just months after the great king's death, when New England missionaries arrived. With a pioneer spirit and a zeal to convert, they found much they wanted to change. The high chiefs asked them to teach palapala, the written word. They saw what this new technology could bring. Within 4 years, 1/3 of the islanders could read and write. Within 20 years, Hawaii had the highest literacy rate in the world.
Oral culture, oral history, oral traditions means that nothing is ever written down. Everything that's handed from generation to generation has to be memorized, has to be taught from one to the next. Well, Hawaiians were interested in this whole new world that was being presented, so the chiefs made the first move to spread literacy throughout their own people. Mission schools followed and were set up all through the islands.
Missionaries, they've given them an alphabet, reared native teachers. Now, the proportion of inhabitants who read and write is greater than in New England.
It is astonishing how so many have learned to read with so few books, making use of banana leaves, the wet sand on the beach as tablets. Some read equally well with the book upside down, as 4 or 5 of them learn from the same book.
By 1860, with a fully literate nation, an independent press started. 1861. It was no longer a missionary endeavor, it became a Hawaiian endeavor. Over the next 60 years, there were 100 and more newspapers able to put in the content that they wished to express, that addressed the need for Hawaiians to speak their own history, to tell their own stories, and that there was great value there. It ended up producing some 125,000 large pages of newsprint, more than all of the other Polynesian societies combined.
Aloha, I'm Paul Drews. Join me each day here on Hawaii TV for the daily news. Find out what's happening around town while you're here. Join us on the hour from 5 to 9 in the morning and from 6 to 11 at night.
They traveled thousands of miles during dangerous voyages of discovery, navigating by stars and instinct. They built civilizations without a written language. And today, they still make messages with drones, fire using coconuts, cloth by pounding bark, jewelry out of leaves, and stories with their hands. All you have to make is the time to see it. The Polynesian Cultural Center, Hawaii's #1 paid visitor attraction. Why come thousands of miles to Polynesia and then never really see it?
It is said that the mother so craved the Colea they were bound to travel far. Born with their faces lifted toward the happy star. And now they grew strong and able as voyagers of the sea. And one by one were chosen for the voyage of their dreams. On the Hokulea, with the stars and the sun and the moon and the wind and the waves to guide them. On the Hokulea, with the sights and the sound and the swells and the feelings deep within. Sail the Hokulea in the real style to Kahiki. They will come and they will go. And with the blood of the Colea running in the veins, they will know their way back home. Charting the course at sunrise, shore to shore to shore. Feeling the way their fathers did 2,000 years before. Sail for our children's future as well as for old time's sake, that they may be filled with the spirit and pride as they carry on in the way of the take. They will come and they